As well as the standard fair use policy, this video is protected under the Treaty of Peace and Friendship 1787.
Moors are awake. We are taking our place on this planet.
201571 1A 250-975 7Z 714-492.
Jennifer Castleton for the city.
Karama Hawkins and Crawford, Your Honor.
Gianna L is AKA Miss Ritchie.
No, I don't think.
No,
I don't
Diana
think
L
it
isn't?
No.
Okay, is Miss Ritchie present?
Peace and grand rising to the Moors. I am Justice Pauline Denise Ritchie in capitis nolo, in propria persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. My chosen free national appellation is Light Tajiri Bey.
Okay, so before we get into the rest of this video, let me just give you a little background on what you're about to watch. So this video is a court hearing for Pauline Denise Ritchie, aka Light Tajiri Bey. It's a Zoom court hearing. They didn't actually record the Zoom call, they just saved the audio. So we'll be listening to the audio of her court case, and her lawyer, well, he's not a lawyer, but the person she has representing her is none other than King Abdullah Bey. She doesn't show up for the Zoom hearing. He shows up in her defense, and he just makes a complete fool of himself. So we have Pauline Denise Ritchie's court case with King Abdullah Bey representing her. Let's get into it.
I represent Miss Ritchie.
Okay, but the person that we claim is, that the court claims is Miss Ritchie, is that person present?
I'm representing Miss Ritchie and the Republican form of government.
Okay.
And
But first thing you got to do, sir, is come on video so I can see you on video, because that's the court rule.
I'm on. Oh, sorry.
On video.
I'm sorry.
You got audio on. We're good there.
How do I cut the video on?
Excuse me, King Abdullah Bey. You mean to tell me you just showed up to this court hearing trying to represent Pauline Denise Ritchie, and you don't even know how to turn the video on your computer? This is clearly not going to go well.
I think are you on a phone or are you on a computer?
I'm on my computer.
Just go to the bottom. If you got a mouse or something, you go to the bottom left part of the screen. It says join video. And it's got to look like a little camera looking thing.
I got a camera. I'm recording already.
Okay. Okay.
So, but I don't see my face.
No, I know, but if you go down to the little start video, I'm going to stop mine. It'll say start video. There's a little camera-looking thing with a red line through it.
Okay, do you want me to stop my video?
No, I want you to start your video because you're not showing.
Okay, let me stop it and start it again.
Okay.
Okay, the video started.
You got a camera?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Let me see. Can you see me now?
No, it's just your name. It says King Abdul and then MU ...
Right. Okay.
So when you say your camera's on, nothing shows. So I think there may be a problem with the camera.
My camera is definitely lit up. Now I can't even start the video.
Okay, but is there any objection to proceeding just with audio by anybody for King Abdul?
I mean, I don't think that he is a licensed attorney in Washington.
No, but let's focus first on the video aspect because he's speaking. Is there any objection to him being so he's not on video, regardless of what he's saying?
No.
Okay, Miss Hawkins?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so sir, don't worry about the video unless you want to make it an issue.
It's not an issue. I'm too
Okay.
ugly for the camera
Okay,
anyway.
then we're good. We're good with you just speaking. Okay.
Alrighty.
The substance of what you say might be in question, but as far as your right to speak, your ability to speak, we're acknowledging that. So, it's not the right, but the ability, practically, the fact that we can hear you and you can hear us. That's acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so right now, without the record reflecting that Miss Ritchie's present, can we proceed with anything today, Miss Castleton?
I think so. There was a competency evaluation which opined that she was competent.
Okay.
At least one of the matters is on, assuming that the court finds her competent, is on for arraignment. And so I do believe that we need her present for arraignment.
Now, this lady, Pauline Denise Ritchie, a.k.a. Light Tajiri Bey, has filled her head with so much Moorish nonsense that she believes that she doesn't have to show up to her own court hearing. And she believes that because she owns the land, she's indigenous, and all that other crap that she preaches. My thing is, how did she get arrested in the first place when the police don't have jurisdiction of these quote-unquote Moors? You understand what I'm saying? But it's mind-boggling that she didn't even show up to her own court hearing. She sends someone to represent her that's not even a judge. This lady is nuts, and so is the person that she has trying to represent her.
Okay.
So that is my concern.
So, Miss and King Abdul, I'll come back to you in just a moment. But Miss Hawkins.
Yes, Your Honor. I was assigned to this case, to Ms. Ritchie's matters, when she was remanded into custody. I believe previously she was essentially representing herself and had declined assistance from the public defender. If there are additional charges that the city wishes to levy, I do believe that she does need to be present. I understand that there was a medical furlough, and so I think it's, if there are ongoing medical issues, that it would be appropriate to set this matter out so that those could resolve and that we can have a better idea of what's going on with her and her ability to be here. So That would be my concern. It would be her health at this point. And I don't think that we could proceed, or that the court could proceed, in my opinion, without her being present. I also was informed that I believe she is being represented by King Abdul, and so I'm not sure if she would be proceeding forward as her own counsel or if I'm to remain on. I do know that it's my understanding that Miss Ritchie is a universal, original, indigenous, sovereign person through the Moorish American Moroccan Consular Court.
Excuse me, ma'am, but I know that's all of the stuff that Light Tajiri Bey told you. You just wrote it down and you're reading it verbatim, but none of that means anything. It means absolutely nothing.
And because of that position, it is not consistent, or I would not have the ability to assist her without her wanting that help. So I think that given her status, she certainly would have the right to represent herself and have assistance, outside by whoever she wanted to have assist her in dealing with these matters.
So,
but in terms of going forward today, I don't know that the court can do that.
in just a moment.
And because there's a health issue, I think unless that's resolved, she certainly should remain out of custody.
So you're suggesting, and Ms. Kaplan is suggesting today, my choice is to either resummon Miss Ritchie to come back to court on another day, or issue a warrant for her arrest. Those are my two choices.
I think so.
Ms. Hawkins?
Your Honor, there's no choice of that matter at all.
Just a moment. I'll come back to you.
Okay,
So,
because
I'll come back.
Thank you.
Ms. Hawkins?
Your Honor, it would be, I would say that the court should resummons her.
Okay. So, King Abdul, I'm going to let you speak, but speak on, I'm going to let you speak. But as I've already advised you of, if you practice law, it's an issue. And I know that you and I might disagree on the interpretation of the law. That's fair, that everybody has the right to interpret things the way they'd like. I still have to enforce it the way it's written. So go ahead and tell me anything you wish to say.
Yes, you're talking about some law that you wrote that I have to abide by?
No, it's the law the legislature wrote, and there's also the Constitution, the state and federal Constitution. For instance, Miss Ritchie, just a moment. Miss Ritchie, under Article 1, Section 22 of our state Constitution, she has a right to appear in person to defend. I cannot do things in absentia. In criminal case, there's a CRLJ 3.4A that requires that an arraignment that I cannot act on behalf of the court on an arraignment without her physical presence, either now by Zoom or in person. So I'd be violating the Constitution today by going forward with an arraignment, because that's basically trying somebody or advising them of the charges in absentia, and that's illegal.
Now, I'm pretty sure everything that judge just said to him just went right over King Abdullah's head, and pretty much what the judge is explaining to King Abdullah, the fake lawyer, is that they are protecting Tajiri Bey's rights by not proceeding without her being present, because it is her right to be there for her court case. But I'm sure this fool is going to make an argument that makes absolutely no sense. So let's see what he has to say.
Okay.
Okay, so the idea is to summons her but what I'm leaning towards is, because there might be a misunderstanding, summons her for another day, and then you can certainly communicate back with her and saying, Judge Larson, even though you might disagree with me, sir, Judge Larson believes that Article 1, Section 22 of the state Constitution prohibits her from acting unless she's present. At least not acting. I can act by issuing a warrant for her arrest, but I can't proceed with an arraignment without her physically present.
Sir, there's a problem. I heard you speak about the U.S. Constitution,
right,
as well as the state Constitution. And Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution shows that you're bound to the supreme law of the land. Is that correct?
Well, the Constitution does say it's the supreme law of the land. The U.S. Constitution is.
I'm asking you a question. I'm not asking you to paraphrase. I'm asking you a question. It's a yes or no. Is the supreme law of the land you're bound by, correct?
Oh, to the extent it applies, yes.
Okay. And what is the supreme law of the land? Because you're telling me I need to practice law with bar members. That's not going to work for a Moor. I'm a Moor. I'm a noble.
Understood.
Okay, so
I respect that, sir.
All right. Well, what I'm explaining to you, I'm asking you simple questions that will help me lead you to the process, which is for Empress like Tajiri Bey, or as known as Pauline Denise Ritchie Moore.
Okay.
So now what I'm talking to you about is your oath, your authority to do anything on this land per the supreme law of the land. So I'm asking you again, you're bound to the supreme law of the land, correct?
Yeah, I am. Just a moment. Just a moment, sir. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land.
Sir.
Yes.
Okay. That's not true. Okay. The supreme law of the land is the Moorish, the Iroquois Moorish American Treaty of Peace and friendship of 1787 and 1836. This treaty is a document of the Revolutionary War where the Moors defeated the 13 colonies and created the United States of America in 1787.
I'm just wondering what this false history lesson has to do with this court hearing. How is this false history lesson supposed to help light Tajiri Bey? Like, what in the doohickey are you talking about, sir?
Okay.
So now, when you look at the Article 6, can I share the screen, please?
Okay, yes.
How do I do that?
Did you submit a document already? Is it already in the court file?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
then I can project. If it's the same one, I think I can project it for you.
Okay.
Just a moment.
But I'm really talking about the U.S. Constitution at this time, and what's the supreme law of the land.
Yeah. And what go ahead.
That's not my paperwork. I don't know who that is.
Well, that was what was submitted to the court.
That's not my paperwork, sir.
Okay.
I submitted my notice of appearance and all documents to your court. And
just a moment. There's more. There's a lot of pages here. Just a moment.
Well, let me submit my own. I can share my own screen because I don't recognize that stuff.
Right. But I'm going to go through every page so you can see. I don't know.
That was submitted by Ms. Ritchie.
Oh, it was submitted by Ms. Ritchie. Okay.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be what you submitted. So if you want to, because I don't have the ability to permit you to share the screen here, at least from my screen. So if you want to email it to the court, and then we can project it.
Hold on a second. It's already here, but let's go over.
I have it.
Okay, so Ms. Hawkins, could you email it to me and Ms. Castleton, then I'll open it up and project it for.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So let me finish talking, sir, because like you said, you knew it was going to take some time. My job is to conduct a federal criminal investigation on judges and lawyers and the whole United States government for human trafficking Moorish Americans and killing them for sport.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, this law you're talking about, as far as me practicing law on my land, I think you better get a check at what's the supreme law of the land, sir.
Okay.
Now, Miss Hawkins, I believe you are being real quiet at this time when you shouldn't be, when you know you don't know law. As you discussed, I have you on audio where you said you don't know law. You know what the supreme law of the land. You didn't know what the supreme law of the land was. You called it the Constitution that. And you know statutes and codes aren't law, Your Honor. You're not a Your Honor to me, but you are somebody that's supposed to be bound to the treaty.
Okay, so let me see if I can narrow this down, because what you're suggesting, and I see what you're in the clause 2. It says
sir.
The Constitution and the laws of the United States, which should be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States. So all the above shall be the supreme law of the land.
That's correct.
Okay,
And
so that's what I see what you're saying.
I'm not finished.
Understood, but I just want to make sure I'm comprehending.
Okay, so now you see where you're bound to this treaty, correct?
Yeah, it does say, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, and anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding.
And that part means that you can't use statutes and codes, case law, your court rule book, your Constitution, which is a bogus document, is not valid. Only the treaty is valid. And so when you look at the treaty, it talks about Article 21. The treaty is a document of the 13 colonies losing to the Moors. And that's what you're bound to. You're bound to uphold that treaty.
It amazes me that these Moorish sovereign citizens hate the United States so much, and they discredit it so much. He just disrespected the judge and said he's not a Your Honor. But it's like these judges and these lawyers in these court proceedings, give these people their fair shake at what they want to say. They don't interrupt them. They let them go on. They're very fair with them. Now, what this King Abdullah is pretty much trying to articulate is that no rules apply to the Moors. Like, do you honestly think that that is going to work, sir? You need to be in a mental facility because you sound absolutely ridiculous.
You're bound to me, sir. My ancestors rule here. And so the people that you see, I see as for the representing for the city. Is she using statutes and codes instead of the treaty? Yes, she's using statutes and codes to human traffic. Okay? And you're assisting her, sir. So when you look at the treaty, it talks about Article 21. Okay? And Article 21 shows that your court is my court. Okay? I don't have the documentation. I'm going to read it to you because you need to know what you're doing. You outside of the law, sir. I seen you human traffic people today and release people you human traffic. Okay? You and the prosecutor. And she's mighty quiet. Prosecutor has no business being a prosecutor for anything on this land. She can't live here or have a job here.
Okay.
And I'm charging her with committing treason, high treason.
Say what? Okay.
Okay, so you telling me that you got some kind of law that I have to abide by and practicing law with a bar member who's British, a foreign agent, a traitor? Oh, really? Is that true?
Well,
now,
that's
yes,
just a moment, sir. Just a moment. This is my suggestion because is this first of all, is this the document? One of the because there's 3 documents.
My document
is this one of your documents?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, that's the one,
Miss Hawkins. You have my documents.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to suggest, sir. Because
yes, sir.
Just a minute, because I want Miss Hawkins and Miss Castle to be able to look at whatever documents you have. And then I'm going to resummon Miss Ritchie to another court date. Just a minute, because I'm not going to decide anything today, regardless, because everybody has an opportunity to be heard. Okay.
Alrighty.
And so what we'll do is you can bring up whatever you want at the next hearing.
I want to finish my part now, sir. You're cutting me off.
I am cutting you off, and I have every right to cut you off. And no, I do. I do.
You are bound to me. That's the problem.
I'm not bound to. I'm bound to the. You and I sir. You and I disagree, but I am cutting you off because sir. No, you can't.
You're bound, sir. If you go past the bound, you lose your authority. You understand?
Then I've lost my authority, and if that's what you perceive. But my authority, what I'm doing today, sir, is I'm putting this on another calendar so you can be heard on another day. Because Miss Ritchie is not present, and I can't proceed without her.
Order, sir.
Okay?
This is a court order you're disrupting.
Then they'll have to hold me in contempt then, sir. But the bottom line is at this point, just a moment, at this point in time, we're continuing, we're going to resummon Miss Ritchie. I will let you know the court date, sir. Which court date do we want to have? 2 weeks?
Sir.
No, just a minute, Mr.
There's only one court on this land.
That's fine.
Okay, it's the Moroccan court.
Okay, then the Moroccan court can hold me in contempt. But at this point in time, I'm moving.
The Moroccan court.
2 weeks, Miss Hawkins? 2 weeks?
Normal resummons.
Okay.
Miss Hawkins, I will put a third-party complaint on you in this case, but you know better.
Okay.
I've already been listed in a lawsuit, apparently, based on the paperwork, so I don't know that I can...
Yeah, you're already listed. You'll be listed by me. And this attorney right here. What's the name? And your name too, Judge. I'm not bound.
Okay. So
provide me. Hold on. Provide me with your bond, your oath, official bond, and your oath of office before you proceed, because you're saying you're not bound to the Moors.
I'm not saying that, sir. Sir, just so it's clear. You have brought up some arguments today. Just a minute. You brought I'm just talking about just to be clear from my perspective. You may think you're clear from your perspective. I'm talking from mine. You brought up some arguments today that on its face, when you're talking about the fact that it includes treaties as one of the elements of the supreme law of the land, that the attorneys on the other side have an opportunity to respond to that. Now the question is that list disjunctive or conjunctive? Does it only refer to, does it say or does it include all of those documents when put together as the supreme law of the land? So you have to construe them all together. So that's going to be the issue that will have to be resolved, and I'm giving the other parties a chance to respond to you. Okay? That's all I'm doing. I'm not denying your request. I'm not disrespecting your request. I'm not disrespecting your arguments. I'm just suggesting it needs to be when everybody has an opportunity to fairly be heard. Okay? Which is going to be 2 weeks from now.
Now, what this judge is pretty much doing is crossing all T's and dotting all I's, so that way, whenever he makes his decision, there's no wiggle room for a mistrial or for anything that he does to be overturned. Now, since King Abdullah has brought in a whole bunch of irrelevant paperwork, they're not just laughing him out of the court. They're going to actually take the time, do the research, dissect all of the stuff. They're giving him a fair shot. Now, everything that he brought will be looked at as irrelevant, but the prosecutors actually need time to decipher all of this crap that he has brung to court. So they're giving him a fair chance. Now, he's going to be mad when they come back and make the decision that none of the stuff that he has presented is relevant or correct. But they're actually, right now, they're not just going to dismiss what he's saying. They're going to look into it, and then on the next court hearing, they're going to tell him, excuse me, sir, none of that stuff that you filed is relevant to this case. And I'm sure he's not going to like the answers that he's going to get on the next court hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
And the only thing I was saying is that I think that Ms. Bey, Empress Bey, has a right to be here for this, and so I think that she has that right if she wants.
Right.
If she's going to be present.
Just so it's clear, sir, in the land of federal way, in our jurisdiction in Washington, just a moment. In what the rule? Just a minute. I have no authority to proceed against her unless she's present.
Well, I'm present. I'm proceeding against you for human trafficking, sir.
Okay.
My documents speak. I already served them on you. And don't cut me off when I'm speaking because I'm in my court. I'm not in your court.
Okay.
So you are bound to me. And when I'm talking to you, you are outside of the law when you start talking down to me. Don't use statutes and codes. There's only one law in this land. When you bypassed my birthrights to the treaty, to my land, we own over 1 million miles square. Only indigenous people can live here. No European can live here. Look at Article 14. The treaty is about commerce only. If you're not doing commerce, you better roll up out of my land. That's what this case is about.
Okay.
You know it too, Miss Hawkins.
Okay.
Miss Hawkins.
We did.
You're an ineffective assistance of counsel person. And I know Strickland versus Washington and all that stuff. Don't mess with me. I'm a master at law.
Okay.
Not you. Okay?
So
don't assign only a noble can represent anything on this land. Sir, if you're not a noble, you cannot be a judge. The treaty shows that only Moors can live here. Indigenous people own for 1 million miles square. And lawyers are banned from this land. So if you got a lawyer over there talking about, you got a code for me? Well, I got case law that says codes need consent.
Okay.
Okay. I give no consent to you or any of your lawyers using statutes and codes. I've seen you just human traffic people, make them plea on something with pressure, and it's dirty.
Okay.
You didn't give them full disclosure of the law. That's messed up.
Okay.
You're a terrible judge, too, if you're a judge. We're
Thank
going to
you.
test that. You're going to provide me with your official bond and your oath of office, and we're going to test you, because I know you don't have the skills.
Okay. Well, thank you for the compliment.
Bound to me. Don't cut me off. I want Pauline Ritchie, and you better not mess with her, because she's a noble. She's an empress. And
Okay.
you're talking about statutes and codes and bringing her to this phony court. You're bound to her.
Okay.
She's a Moor.
So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. We're going to set it over for 2 weeks. Okay. And I think that's our last case today, correct? Okay. So 2 weeks, sir. Do you want to know the exact court date, sir?
Pursuant to Article 21, that's the court I'm holding. Look at the treaty.
Okay.
Hawkins.
Well, you can continue to hold court, but I'm signing off. But the thing is that Miss
You're bound
Kelly,
to me.
2 weeks, March 19th, please. March 19th, 1:15.
Calendar are you putting it on? Your Honor?
Excuse me, he's out of custody now, so to be March 16th at 1:15 on the motions. On the motions calendar. So
Okay,
it'll be in courtroom 2, sir, which has a different Zoom ID and meeting ID and password.
Is the court anticipating us filing a written response?
I don't have any documentation from you guys.
I leave that to your discretion. But the bottom line is that they're. I think King Abdul has raised some issues that on behalf of Miss Ritchie that I think out of respect need to be addressed. And because I'm not Mr. King Abdul, I'm not, like I said, I'm not dismissing what you're saying. I'm just saying it needs to be on another day. Okay, not today.
I have a court order right now in your hands, sir, which you're bound to.
Okay.
You're human trafficking people.
Okay. So let me ask you this, sir. What are you asking me to do today? What do you want me? What are you asking me to do today?
Okay. Today, my documentation I had with third-party defendants, President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. and other defendants to be heard from my federal criminal investigation upon the state of Washington. Only nobles can represent the state of Washington or anybody here on this land. I see this.
Are you putting the dates?
Prosecutor for the city of Federal Way.
I'll do it.
She cannot be here. She cannot live here, have a job here, sir. Per the treaty, she needs to be deported.
Who does? Who does?
If she's not a Moor, this prosecutor, she's committing treason. Look at Article 3, Section 3 of the judicial side of the U.S. Constitution, and she's giving aid and comfort, just like Miss Hawkins. All three of you are outside of the law, attacking Empress like Tajiri Bey, named as Pauline Denise Ritchie Moore. You cannot use statutes and codes, and Miss Hawkins knows it. I got a recording of you, Miss Hawkins, and you're going to get it played on this conference or this hearing we're going to have on the 19th at whatever time. And I'm going to make you a third-party defendant, and this is federal. It's nothing to do with Federal Way. This is Moroccan law. Only Moroccan law can be here. I'm Muslim.
It amazes me that the judge is pretty much letting this fake lawyer, King Abdullah Bey, get his rocks off. He's completely disrespecting the court and everybody there by telling them they need to be deported and they can't do this and they can't do that. I don't know why the judge just doesn't shut him up. Now, it's crazy that King Abdullah is so angry because they're being so fair with him. First of all, they're addressing him as king. They didn't even ask him to actually verify his name. So they're calling him king. They're letting him just run amok and talk a whole bunch of nonsense, and yet he's still so angry. Now, the judge is also telling you that he's not dismissing everything that you're saying. They're just going to need time to look at all of your fictitious paperwork. And on the next court date, then you're more than likely going to be mad because you're going to hear some things that you don't want to hear. This right here is crazy.
Not no European.
Okay.
Only Europeans can have a job. They can't have a job here. They can only do commerce.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
So the specific relief you're seeking today, you've outlined for the court this time. At this time, right?
Human trafficking. It's on my paperwork, sir. My paperwork precedes me, and you better give me your oath of office and your bond. because I'm filing charges against you for saying you're not bound. You feel me?
It's a matter of public record, sir. If you want to go get that, that's fine.
All three of you, give me your insurance records, your insurance bonds. You think I don't know about that stuff? I've been investigating all you human traffickers for years. I got a judge saying he's at war with the Moors. He admits that he's a human trafficker. He admits that he's a KKK member. Right on the witness, right on the bench, and the lawyers too. They all admitted that they're at war with the Moors. Now, you at war with me, sir?
I don't know where you got. I don't know which judge you're referring to, but sir, I think that right now we're not being constructive.
No, you're not.
So this is what's going to happen. I think we're going to go off the record. We're going to end our Zoom hearing. Is there any objection, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. No, I think we're good to go, sir. Thank you.
Off of my land.
Thank you.
Yeah.
End the Zoom. Thank you.
Why is it circulating? This is not even.
I think because somebody accidentally printed.
Yeah, it's not.
And then, yeah, so I have the right one.
It was in Courtroom 1 the other day.
So, did you set the hearing?
Yeah, I already said it, but
All I have to say is stay tuned for part 2.